everyone. We're here in the Livestream studio at NOSH Live Winter 2019 in Santa Monica. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks also to our sponsors, Snack Futures and Factory. We're sitting here with Tim Pollock, who's a partner at Factory, an incubator and accelerator in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Hi, Tim. Good to see you again.
Hi. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Great. Well, excited to catch up. For those who don't know who are watching, tell them a little bit about what Factory is.
Okay, so we call ourselves a incubator or accelerator really on steroids. We're a 40,000 square foot facility with everything that a small company needs to scale up and innovate. We've got a staff of about 40, including about 15 real seasoned pros. And our companies live with us, and we have seen over the last year, and we've only been in this for a year, we've seen unbelievable growth with the companies that are in there just with those resources behind it.
That's really awesome. And yeah, one of those brands is PIP Snacks, which we've covered on NOSH. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with them.
Well, it's great. We closed our investment there in April. We had already started working with them. Completely worked with them on a rebrand of the packaging. They were a mini popcorn. They still are a mini popcorn. They taste amazing. They're doing great products. But we have now added with them cheese balls, a line of cheese balls, a line of corn dippers. We have gone from really 3 active SKUs to 11 so far. There's more in the pipeline. And we've kind of rebranded it as Pipcorn Heirloom Snacks. Everything's made with heirloom corn. The business has responded amazingly.
Yeah, and those new snacks are super tasty. I love them. And so when these brands come to you and you're starting with them, how are you figuring out what to prioritize? Are you working with them to figure out what they should be working on next?
Well, we are, but it's interesting. When we start doing due diligence, we really look at a strategy and figure out a strategy up front. We want to know that we can really scale these brands quickly because that's our model. That's the commitment that we made. So we do a lot of legwork before we ever sign and work with them, and they know what they're signing up for, which is we're gonna together move this thing much more quickly than it could have been done alone.
Yeah, I remember the founders of PIP Snacks telling me that they had been thinking about extending their line for a really long time, but just didn't have the support and resources. Tell us, as Factory is growing, are there other roles you're looking to fill in terms of your side of things to help these brands grow?
Well, I mean, when you talk about PIP Snacks, their cheese balls, their original prototype cheese balls we made in our kitchen. We've got a new product launching in the first quarter that they came to us and said, hey, we've got some remnants from our production. There's something we can do with it. And our food scientists came up with a whole new line of snacks that we're in the final stages of preparing for rollout. We get involved in everything. The only thing we don't do is manufacture. But for one of our brands, which is Stuffed Puffs, we've just cut the ribbon on a 150,000 square foot facility because it's a trade secret manufactured product and the demand is way ahead of anything we can make out of our pilot plant.
That's pretty amazing. So when you're looking for these brands, what is a common thread between them? What are you looking to see and what are you looking to help with?
I think we start with differentiation. Is this brand differentiated in its category in the market? Obviously, the consumers want the product, very important. Do we see an opportunity to really scale? Can you build a platform? The entrepreneurs matter. We want people that are skilled and nice to work with and, buy into this notion of collaboration. We're not looking for entrepreneurs that can do everything. We can supplement with our staff and our talent and our leadership, but we want entrepreneurs that want to work with us and we want to work with them. So that they're a key piece of this. We look for some traction. We're not doing startups, although with Stuffed Puffs we did, but because we were sitting on so much consumer demand and retailer demand up front. But usually we look for market traction. We want a path, obviously, to a margin, and we've heard that at the show today, 40% or you're really in trouble. So we look for that. But I start with the differentiation in the market. Can we build a business with our resources working with the entrepreneurs?
So it's really mostly about the entrepreneur as opposed to, say, following a plant-based trend or another food trend.
Yeah, the trends that we're looking for trends. We don't want fads. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's about the entrepreneur and the product. There's so much we can do with the resources we have and the experience we have in terms of positioning, in terms of branding, in terms of product improvement, line extensions. We have the capability to do all that, and we have a really good sales team. And then on the back end, we do quality control, food safety. We go to co-men runs to make sure everything's working. So, we are the way we see it, the entrepreneurs come in often, and there are very few of them. There are one or two people in a company. Suddenly they've got a 20, 30, 40-person company.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
This is such a crazy and exciting experiment that you're doing. How are you figuring out, what's next for it, when to scale it? Seems like these brands obviously are coming to you because they need a lot. So how do you move forward from here?
I think we've got plenty of bandwidth. I mean, right now we're focused on 4 companies. Honey Stinger is another one that is. They have not moved in with us because they were already too big. They're in Steamboat Springs, but we came up with a repositioning, working with them, and it's really working. I mean, the brand has just had its best year ever, and what we're looking at next year is terrific growth. And it's a sports nutrition brand that was a good secret amongst endurance athletes, and we're taking it out to the market.
Yeah. So we have our pitch slam coming up later today. Is it a process like that for these brands? Are they pitching you? How can brands find out more and understand more about what you can offer them?
I think that word of mouth is helping us an awful lot. We reach out to some brands. I come to a show like this. I've met three companies here that have been on our radar screen where we've now talked about them coming in and meeting with more of our team and spending some time seeing where they've had some traction. They didn't have it before. They've gotten a little bigger. There are a couple of companies here that we've had conversations with that didn't go anywhere, and suddenly they're back. So it's that kind of a process. We have a lot of inbound, and I go through that very quickly to try to understand, is it worth having the next conversation? We think we have the bandwidth to do 15 to 20 within our building. It's a large facility. It's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and anybody who's in the area should come by and see it, because I think it's the future for taking these emerging brands onto a national and in some cases maybe a global field.
Wow, that's awesome. So if you're prioritizing the entrepreneur, then I guess it makes sense for you to be at a show like this and engage with people in person. Any other highlights from the show so far?
Well, I mean, I've loved meeting the entrepreneurs, and I've loved meeting some of the retailers who are here and talking to them. We've had a lot of interest from major retailers. I would guess maybe of the top 25 of them have come to Factory for tours, have had lunch with us up there, and have talked about how we can help them. We've done innovation summits. We did one with Sprouts recently. That was hugely successful, about 40 companies, and that out of a pre-list of over 100 that we screened down, and they were looking for them. They're looking for the exciting new companies, a lot like what the Whole Foods presentation just talked about, and it's good for our companies, and we found other companies to keep talking to there. So, there's no formula here. It's hard work. We talk to everybody, and when it's worth it, we keep it going.
Yeah, it seems like something that's pretty new and innovative. What was it like building this out? What did it look like building the factory?
Scary. We'd walk out there and look at this. The building was used they were hardening steel. It was built for the war by Bethlehem Steel. When we walked into it, there were sparks flying. There was an independent contractor in there. It was black. It took us 3 months just to get the soot off. We had to replace all the windows. We had to basically, there were 10-ton cranes on the ceiling. We cut 2 of them out, kept 1 for historical, and it was a magnificent building. But it took a lot of work. And our partner, Rich Thompson, he's built 10 factories. He's just really good at this. And I get to meet him because I've been on 3 of his boards where he's built factories for each of the companies, and in one case, 5 factories. And so, it's great to have a partner like that who's an lifelong entrepreneur who just has that skill set, and we complement each other. I stay focused on strategy marketing. He stays focused on operations, and we all chip in on sales, and
That's
to get here.
fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like you have a great team really backing things up there. Thank you so much, Tim, for joining us. Always great to catch up and appreciate seeing you.
Thanks for having us. We love being here.
Of course. Thanks so much for watching NOSH. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ding that bell.